Welcome back to the Ways Away Tour podcasting network with the still unnamed Deep Space Nine recap show. My name is Moshe Hill, and these two guys worked on a Ferengi freighter for 8 years and have seen this performed hundreds of times. We got Andy Schwartz and Nati Burnside. This week we're talking about Season 1, Episode 5 of Deep Space Nine, Babel.
Voyage to Deep Space Nine, where an alien virus sabotages the station.
It's mutated into an airborne variety, which means the whole station is infected.
Who created this virus?
The Bajorans, sir.
Now, catastrophe threatens the outpost,
I can't allow you to break quarantine.
Better let her go, Cisco. She's all we've got.
and survival lies in Kira's hands.
This is kidnapping.
All I want is the antidote.
Next time on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
All right. So, and once again, we lost Nati in the middle of it.
Please, Ken Brown.
Ken Brown is gone. So, Andy, what do you think about the episode?
I thought it was the first solid episode. They actually answered questions as they were going on. It wasn't like this is the stupidest thing. Why is this happening? Why is that happening?
Ken's back.
Like there's plenty of that. I look,
Yeah.
There's plenty of issues with the episode, but
Yeah.
quality wise, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a good episode. It showed what running a station is really like.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have a first disagreement because two thumbs way down on this one. Babel, this is not a Deep Space Nine episode. This is a Next Generation episode that they repackaged and threw onto Deep Space Nine. You got the space illness, which gets everyone all hot and bothered, and then we got the medical mystery thing, whatever. And it's not a Deep Space Nine episode. Deep Space Nine is what makes this different. I guess the things that make it a little different is the Bajoran aspect. You throw the Bajoran in there. You can't do this with a bunch of the characters. The characters in TNG can't really fit in the same way. So in TNG, it would be, okay, Data's immune to this, obviously, because Data's immune to everything. And then, you'd probably have Worf be, immune to it as well, or whatever, or a Klingon version of it. And
yeah.
But then, you have that whole B story or D story, D plot about the ship that wants to leave.
They would just have it as they're transporting medical assistance to someone and it's going to expire and
exactly.
They can't deliver it unless the episode unless they get there in time.
Yeah, you could literally repackage this into a TNG episode.
Yeah, you have to assume though it's so early on in Deep Space Nine that they're kind of ripping on it and trying to see where it goes and what direction people are going to start acting and taking it upon themselves. I think this is one of the really good episodes with Odo and Quark.
It's a great Odo and Quark episode.
Just like they're really falling into character of who they are.
The best frenemies in the galaxy.
Oh, the best.
The best
love
frenemies in the galaxy. Love Odo
the
and
best
Quark.
Love-hate relationship. You gotta, and I really feel as characters, you started to love them,
Yes, 100%. I mean, it's funny because Odo is kind of insufferable. He's great. I love Odo. He's kind of insufferable because he's he's always grouchy and a nag and not in a fun way.
He's 4 years old. Yeah, he's 4 years old. Yeah. He doesn't know what any social dynamics are.
But Quark brings out a completely different side of him, which is so great. Yes. And just him mocking Quark and him going after Quark and saying I
love it.
He's but okay, so let's go back. Okay, first question I have to
I have a big question also. So
all right, you want to go first?
Sure.
Yeah.
O'Brien. We start with O'Brien. O'Brien is fixing. We have aliens stuck in a airlock. They've been there for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're they'll be fine. They just got to get out.
Here's
the thing.
Yes.
He was the head of the transporter room.
Yeah, he was the transporter chief on the Enterprise.
Meaning he's a good chief and he's a good engineer.
Yes.
But to put him in charge of an entire space station. And then at this point, you have to assume they know how important the space station is.
Yes.
Comparatively, especially to the, You would think that like the Enterprise would have like a spaceship of just like IT guys who would like go to these type.
Why is
like,
Starfleet
have,
not
like,
have like an IT
ships of
like
of engineers who just go and fix things, like go fix problems and like helping them? Like, how do they have like 4 people to fix like every problem?
So this is my overall question with the episode. My first question with the episode, and Nati, if you could hear us, and you're probably on mute because your microphone is way too loud. But my first question is Miles O'Brien, Chief of Operations, remember his title? Is he good at his job?
He's exceedingly good at his job. I think the problem is that like I think partially one of the reasons they put him at this job is because he has like some sort of familiarity with Cardassian technology, like partially like from the war and whatever, when he were interacting with Cardassians a lot. And then like put on top of that like he's obviously like a very good engineer. But like yeah, he is like enlisted, like he didn't go to Starfleet Academy. Like so
here's my question though. Okay, but you're saying he's good at his job because he could fix anything, which I agree with, but that's not his job. His job is to be the chief of operations. He's got to delegate. Why is he the only one doing everything?
Well,
why is Dax calling Chief O'Brien? Like, he's in the middle of fixing one thing. Why is he running over and fixing something else and running back and forth? Like, he does that the entire series. How is he not delegating these responsibilities? He's the chief of operations.
To a certain extent, I think he is like at heart like O'Brien more than anyone else. He's like Geordi. Like he's like Scotty minus Geordi.
Well, Geordi knows how to delegate.
He's like He's like if you took like the professional engineering aspect out of like Geordi, if you took that away from Scotty, and you just had Scotty's like pure like jury rigging, like frontier engineer kind of guy, and that's who O'Brien is. So like, it's like, oh, like let's send it out there to Deep Space Nine. He'll fix all this like crazy Cardassian technology. So it is actually like what I actually think is the weirdest part is that later on when they have the Defiant, that they don't get like a real Starfleet engineer to be the chief engineer of the Defiant. That's insane.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the Defiant. I have a lot of questions about the Defiant. All right, a lot of questions.
there are a lot of questions about the Defiant. But
there's a lot of questions about the Defiant.
Clearly, like Deep Space Nine is like very up O'Brien's alley. Like very like that's very like O'Brien territory. But when it's like, hey, we've got a state-of-the-art spaceship, I'm like, you should find someone else for that.
Yeah, let's get Nog on that.
Here's another question.
Should not be his like.
Meaning, when you become captain, you're first year co-captain, first year first officer, first year. He just went from being like chief, like a transporter room, to like chief of the entire space station. They just threw him into this position.
So here's the thing.
He still has one. He is the chief of the flagship of the Federation.
Okay, but here's the thing.
But still,
this is kind of like explained a little bit because they have that him and Keiko have that argument the week before where for him this is a huge promotion, right? Because he's he's an enlisted guy, he's the transporter chief on the flagship, but now he's the chief of operations on a space station. Huge promotion for him, huge opportunity for him, so he has to take it. From their perspective, it's like, okay, like DS9, it's like, well, before they found the wormhole, DS9's like corner outpost, like we don't really care. It's like that far away. After they find the wormhole, that's the question of why they don't send more help to him. Unless they're basically overselling how important the wormhole really is to them.
Like, well, it's funny because in my mind, I always thought of this as like a question where it's like, well, Keiko is probably like, he should take this job because like we could like settle down on a space station and have like the quiet life where I don't get like taken over by some crazy spirits like keeps happening on the freaking Enterprise when we're flying around on the flagship with Picard. It's freaking dangerous out there. Let's settle down on a spaceship. Little does she know, so many bad things are going to happen at the space station.
Nothing bad happens to Miles O'Brien in the course of Deep Space Nine.
Like she was like, oh, we could like settle down in like a spaceship, like it's orbiting Bajor, this like this nice luscious place.
I'm sure Molly will have a normal childhood. I'm sure she will.
Let's age up Molly. Let's age up Molly a couple years so she can enjoy life on the station a little bit more.
10 years in the past. All right. Also,
but I have a question.
Yes.
You know what we start to put together like the pips. You know, the pips.
Yeah.
In this episode, so we see that that O'Brien still has a 1 gold pip. He has 1 pip, right? Which is the wrong ring for him. If you're going to call him chief, it should be black. It should be black.
Doesn't he have the little like the enlisted pip? He doesn't have like the.
Not yet.
They screw this up 1,000 times though. This is
okay.
It's just crazy that like we're like this is like this whole system like.
They do it in Next Generation too with O'Brien.
Yeah,
like he's
never really figured
he's got different rankings like 48 times.
Hold on. Okay. Now here's another question. Okay, so in the beginning, you first see O'Brien and he's fixing the airlock, and then you have this freighter captain who's saying, "Mr. O'Brien, you have to fix my ship now." Like, why aren't you fixing my ship? Why is it? I thought he has to fix the station. Why is it his responsibility to fix this dude's ship also? Like,
I mean,
why
you have
is
to
that
assume...
a thing he has to do?
I don't understand why.
But that's part of the whole like deep space.
Like,
again, this is really a little bit unclear. Yeah, this is a little bit unclear. But like these, part of the. Remember these space stations, part of it is like you show up at the space station, you're like, hey, here's like the help I need with my ship, and then this space station is supposed to help fix it, and then like supposedly like I guess you're supposed to get compensated in some way, but like I don't know how that works because economy doesn't exist, and like it's very confusing.
I was very confused because like you have a government, let's say Starfleet. We still have a government in this country, but like we have mechanics. Like there aren't just like mechanics all over the place who focus on fixing ships, like on the starship.
There
like,
should be
or like on planets
if
or like something.
If you have a space station of that size near a wormhole, Starfleet should be sending a dozen engineers, right?
It's more than that.
It's also
have,
still a broken station. The station doesn't.
You can have mechanics who don't work for Starfleet who have their job, like Ferengis and other people who have jobs as like fixing starships, like who can like, hey, anytime somebody shows up and they got a flat tire or whatever in space, you know.
I know.
Like,
all right, we got to move on. We could talk more about O'Brien. We got to move on. So, you got Odo. First of all, I love when Odo mocks Quark for not having customers. That's great. Okay, so you see Odo as well. Quark is dealing with this customer that is. Doesn't like the soup or whatever, and then Odo grabs him. So here's a question. On a scale from Spock to Data, how strong is Odo?
It's supposed to be very strong.
Is Odo like Data strong? Or is he like Spock strong? Like, how strong is he?
Yeah, this is one of these questions like we never get answered because you never see Odo like do anything specifically indicating that he's very strong. But on the other hand, like
you see Data like, oh, Worf's trying to open something, he can't do it. Data comes in, does it in a second. Right? Data lifts up the anvil in Time's Arrow. Like he's incredibly strong.
Sure.
They talk about Data's strength all the time. And they talk about how Vulcans are like twice as strong as humans.
They're like 10 times.
Right. Vulcans are a little bit less strong than Klingons. Klingons are roughly twice as strong as humans. Like, but yeah, there's it's not
all these power levels are so variable because then you have like the episodes where like humans are fighting Klingons and having no problem. You know, like
they have shape and size and the ability to body size and the quality of like fighting and stuff like that.
So you're assuming. So you got to assume that Odo is like at least Vulcan strength.
You got to assume he's much stronger than a human, but maybe not necessarily like a Klingon. He's kind of like in the
I would
middle
say he's
there.
stronger than a Klingon.
I wouldn't say that.
He's
That's
gotta
really
be,
strong.
right? All right.
I mean,
strong in what context? Like because Odo can like turn into like if Odo like turns into like a boa constrictor and is like, you know, is like using his entire body strength as like a cable to like wrap around you. Like I would imagine that would be like pretty strong.
Like I'm saying, could Odo like lift a lot like Data can? Like Data can.
I would assume it's not. They don't really discuss it too much.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The whole thing doesn't really make a lot of sense because Odo doesn't have muscles, and also like his mass like doesn't make any sense like half the time. So like it's like what is he lifting anything with is also like kind of confusing.
What if he shapeshifts into like a giant muscular person? Like also like he could just do that.
Is Odo going
does
to
that make him
you
stronger?
up? Like,
Exactly.
What's Odo doing?
He's the bada poopa.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a
you also know that like Ferengis are tiny, so like it's not really saying much.
Well, he was.
No, Ferengis are not strong.
Yeah. Well, he was going up against the guy who didn't like Quark's suit. Now I have a question about Quark's restaurant and how, because Quark's restaurant actually does work on money, right? So he has to actually sell things. So, but he has a restaurant in which he provides food to customers, but all those customers also have replicators in their quarters or on their ships. So why are they going to Quark's? I mean, I get it if you're like going to play Dabo and you're like, I want some food with my Dabo and I'll just eat it. But why are you going to Quark's and getting a meal?
So again, I think there's this whole like economy of replicator rations that we don't quite understand. So like everyone has a certain number of replicator rations, and that seems to be like, in a sense, replicator rations are like the number one part of the economy. Especially if you like think about like Voyager, this kind of becomes apparent because they do all sorts of like betting pools in Voyager, and they're always betting replicator rations. Like secondary is kind of like holodeck time is like some sort of secondary thing. They're always betting replicator rations.
Is the holodeck in Voyager where they're like, oh, we need to conserve energy because we're in the middle of the Delta Quadrant. Okay, what about the holodeck? That works on a different kind of energy. We don't need to conserve that.
Yeah.
I thought of it differently.
That's my favorite. But okay, but here's the thing. So Quark, hold on, Andy, you froze for a second there.
I thought that who is he food.
Well said.
And gone.
I think the replicator ration thing is a little bit confusing because clearly, like, it's kind of like they're using their replicator rations at Quark's restaurant because Quark, in a sense, is also using replicator rations because he replicates food at his own restaurant.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make sense, but also Quark, because Quark's relying on O'Brien to. This is just hilarious, by the way. This image of Andy. So Quark is relying on O'Brien to fix his replicator, and so he's obviously depending on the station to be working properly. Like it's not like he has his own replicator, right? He has to work,
right.
But then then it gets to this part later in the episode, which I have to try and figure this out, okay? So even when the replicators are working, and I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I have to understand this, okay? Because Quark is the reason why all this food got out because all the replicators at the command level are spreading this virus, and Quark is getting all his food from the officers level, the command level, because his replicators aren't working, okay? So let me see if I could suss this out. So Quark's restaurant is full because now people can order food, okay? So people order food. Quark, who is the owner, bartender, and seemingly lone employee, takes the orders, walks to the command level quarters with a cart, replicates the food, and brings it back. This would take him like 20 minutes at least. Andy, you're back. Welcome back, Andy.
Can you read it?
What?
Black button on the back.
Okay. Mute yourself. You're going to be talking to somebody else.
I thought I was.
Why is it? So Quark, when the restaurant is working, is going all the way to the command level to get food. Like, what's happening in Quark's when he's leaving for like a half hour?
Well, okay, so first of all, there's the Ferengi staff of Quark's, but I think also
they didn't show up in this episode. Yeah.
What's clearly happening is that you can tell by the way he's ordering from the replicator, he's like guessing. He's like, let's do like this, and then he's like getting random drinks that are like popular, and then putting them on the cart to bring them back. And I think my guess he's probably doing a similar thing with the food. Is he's probably like getting random food that is like, so he can like tell people like what's on the menu, and by what's on the menu, it's like whatever he's already replicated. That's my guess.
But can I just say, when I thought why people would go to Quarks is because I feel like he has a lot of other foods that maybe like Federation food replicators wouldn't have. Obviously memory and like storage and things like that, but like he probably has like an exorbitant, crazy amounts of Cardassian and this.
Well,
and
you
that
also, you do
from
see
all over the universe.
You do see that he has drinks that he like makes it, that he has like real drinks, but but it seems like his restaurant has real drinks but replicated food.
Maybe he mixes it all.
So I don't know. He doesn't have a kitchen. So
no, it's all replicated food, and then there's that's just like 10 forward, just like 10 forward. I think in Next Generation, it's replicated food, but then there's real and fake drinks.
Yes. So like he talks about how he has like a ton of Kanar, for example.
Right.
So he's constantly talking about how he has like too much Kanar, right? And so
Cardassians in the morning, fish juice.
So,
you know what they have before bed? Fish juice.
Fish juice. They do love that fish juice. Okay, so I also thought it was funny when Quark. So basically, Cisco puts the entire station on quarantine, and Odo comes in and closes all the shops and business in the promenade. But then Quark, he's like, "Why aren't you closed?" And Quark's like, "I'm essential." And that reminded me of COVID, like when GameStop was like, "Oh, you're essential because you sell computer mice." And there was like all these different businesses, and like if you were like a small business and you had like your own small business, you like weren't essential, but like Best Buy was, and it's like, or Home Depot, like why are these places essential? But my place isn't.
I think the best line is when Odo goes into Quarks and is like, "How is your replicator fixed?" And he's like, "Rom fixed it,"
Yeah.
And Odo comes to him later, is like Rom's an idiot. He couldn't fix a straw if it was bent. Like
that is a good line. But Rom is a genius engineer, which is actually the funny thing.
Really funny, yeah.
So they just don't know that he's a genius engineer. No. But but the line before that though was when Quark said, "An old Ferengi saying, never ask when you can take." Is this a rule of acquisition? They didn't mention. Is this the first mention of a rule of acquisition?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if this could be a because they didn't come up with the rules of acquisition yet. It's very possible.
It's very possible.
Yeah, I know. I did love that line.
It is rule. That is Rule 53.
Rule 53. Never ask when you could take.
Yeah. Never ask when you could. That was a good pickup, Moshe. That's nice.
I saw that line, but they didn't say rule of acquisition number 53. So I think
what was
I had to add that to my list of rule of acquisition mentions.
What I thought was really funny was that when they're like, "Oh, the replicator's not working," or "You need level 5 security," he just turns around and there's a little drawer. There's like a little drawer with all the security, no locks, anything. Anybody can reach over.
This is a great Quark episode. I want to keep going with Quark because the rest of this episode. No, wait, hold on. We didn't get to Nati's take on the episode because he was offline at the time. Nati, what do you actually think about this episode?
It's kind of like a classic Star Trek type setup for me. You're right in the sense it's like more of a Next Generation episode than a Deep Space Nine episode. But I think like at this point in the show, they kind of have to show that they can do both. Like you can't just have like these specifically Deep Space Nine things where, because if you keep doing these politics episodes, people are going to turn the show off. Like, so you can't keep doing that. So you've got to like mix in. You got to mix in some of these like real Star Trek type episodes, and this is clearly one of those. And they do pull it off like pretty well. I mean, sure, the virus like doesn't totally make a ton of sense and whatever, but it is like a very classic like Star Trek type premise that they are able to pull off in like pretty. in pretty decent fashion, like for basically their first attempt. Because this is their first real episode that's just like, this could be an episode of Next Generation, but it's on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's what I said. And if it was on Next Generation, it would be like, okay, well, Data's immune, obviously. And like, so this is like a Data saves the ship episode, which there are a few of those on TNG. Like, that's what this would be.
Oh, yeah.
But
sure,
I do love when Quark goes to. I'm gonna make this like an entire Quark episode because it's a great Quark episode. When Quark goes into the hospital where they have everyone sick people, and he's trying to get them to pay him, and he's like, "Need gold, give me." Like he's like, "Oh, I thought this would get you." He's like, "No, I'm immune to this. I think they're all faking it. I want my money."
We need gold. We need food.
What's also funny about that is that, like, if you think about, like, a lot of the things when you think about how the virus works, like, some of the stuff doesn't make any sense. But, like, obviously, Quark, like, if you, like, owed Quark a bunch of money and he was, like, holding a pad in front of you and, like, pointing at it or whatever, you wouldn't need to understand him to realize he was asking you for money that you owed him for your bar tab or something. So the concept,
give me.
Yeah, like you could go to like some sort of sign language and him pointing at you and then pointing at himself and then showing you like a thing. Even if you couldn't read the words on the pad, you would understand it was probably a receipt. Which is why like the virus like doesn't make a ton of sense. Which you only see a couple times where like
they keep changing the virus.
Yeah, a couple times at the very end of the episode, it starts to like they start to like make the virus make a little bit more sense when like Cisco finally gets like affected and he says something and then like Odo's like, what was that? And then Cisco like repeats it and then Odo's like, yeah, I think he's got the virus. And Cisco immediately like he must hear Odo speaking nonsense and then he must immediately think, uh-oh, I have the virus now. And you see Cisco immediately like have this look of recognition on his face, like, I have the virus.
Yeah.
Like all the other people, they get like angry, which doesn't make any sense. Like they've been explained to them before they got the virus how the virus works. So when they get the virus, they must understand that like now they have the virus. But for some reason, they still act like they have no idea what's going on, and they're still angry about stuff. And you're like, that's not how this works. Like you would know this. Like you're a Starfleet officer. You're smart enough to understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, there's also the
virus. Yeah. The virus starts off as like a Mad Libs, like you're just like randomly spewing words, just like blah 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 blah. But they understand you. It doesn't make sense. And by the end of it, Cisco's passing out. Like, why is he randomly?
That doesn't make any sense, by the way, because Cisco gets it and then like passes out.
It would have been hours.
Yeah, I mean.
Also, my favorite part is this is a classic Star Trek virus where even though the virus is like completely randomly affecting people and like spreading throughout the ship, for some reason, like the last one or two people who get it are the really important people.
Exactly. Classic. I was like, oh, okay, so Cisco can get the virus now. I love it.
It's like on Voyager when it's like the episode when like people are being like transported off the ship and somehow like Chakotay is the last person. Like, yeah, out of all like 80 people, like, yeah, the first officer of the ship is going to be the last person. What are the chances of that?
By the way, okay, so I was watching this episode and taking my notes, and like I was also in the middle of my Next Generation rewatch, and I literally the episode I watched before watching this episode was the episode when there was a virus that made everyone old, and Pulaski got it. And so Pulaski's getting super old on this like space station, and so, and you know what I'm talking about when they get the virus that like ages you up from from this like genetically enhanced kids, by the way. So how do they fix that problem? They find they're like, oh, we'll use her old transporter patterns and transport her back into like her healthy body. And then like
it's the episode
we don't
even cure aging.
Yeah, we don't even have her old transporter patterns. We just have a hair from her brush.
Yeah, that entire episode, I believe it's called Unnatural Selection.
It breaks the entire show.
The episode is like everyone jokes that like they like in they make fun of in the second one of the Kelvin Universe movies. Into Darkness? People joke that like they cured dying in that movie. Like
it's a
in that episode of
movie.
Next Generation. Great movie. Awesome.
My favorite part about that movie, by the way, is when they reversed Kirk and Spock from Wrath of Khan.
Awesome.
Because you thought it was going to...
Oh, yeah.
I just saw that.
My
saw the movie like 2 days ago.
My favorite movie was my favorite part of that movie is when they like just randomly used the transporter to beam to Kronos from Earth or something.
Well, they have the technology.
Yeah, people make fun of that in that movie. They kind of like cure dying, but like in Unnatural Selection, that second season episode of Next Generation, they cure aging like with a transporter.
It's
like very clearly.
It's like the Holdo
during the
maneuver.
episode. They cure aging.
It's like the Holdo maneuver. Like if you can't do a thing that breaks your entire universe. Like,
they're like, oh, she got old. Let's just like find a piece of her hair from when she was younger and put it into the computer and then beam her into her younger body. And you're like, yeah, but why wouldn't we just do that with everyone all the time, always?
I know.
You're like, tough one. Can't something about something.
It literally, and so that's why I was literally watching that episode right when this would happen. I'm like, well, why don't you just beam O'Brien back to like when he like 4 hours ago? Like he's in the transporter pad. Like why aren't they just saving these patterns everywhere? Like I don't understand this.
Also, my favorite part about that one was they were just like, yeah, we don't have like a DNA sample for Pulaski. It's like, you don't have DNA samples for people on the ship? This is the 24th century. What the hell are you talking about?
I know.
We have to go get a hair off of her hairbrush from her quarters. I'm like, what is this, 1985? Like, what is going on?
Pretty much, actually. It is. It's like 1988.
It's funny. Like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that Odo doesn't know how to play Dabo? Like, he's watched and watched and watched, and the rest of
yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Like anytime someone cheats, a Dabo girl's like, "Oh, this guy." Like,
all right, I'm gonna be honest.
Also, Odo's responsible for like taking people to jail for cheating at Dabo, like all the time.
That's
but he doesn't play Dabo.
But like we all know people who have been to casinos a million times and have no idea how to play craps. Right?
But they're not in charge of
We're
security.
not responsible for catching people cheating in it.
Well,
the pit boss who catches people cheating at craps knows how to play craps, though.
Wait, how do you cheat at craps? We'll talk offline. We'll take this offline.
It's kind of insane.
So
I love
medic thing to the table. Apparently, I don't know.
You can be so like nice. Data and like weight the die, and like
I want to see an alternate episode. Like a blooper scene of like Quark teaching Odo how to play like Dabo. Later on.
Well, when Odo merges with Curzon, I'm sure he plays Dabo.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Well, no question.
That's definitely going to happen. I also the fact that and it was also really annoying when Quark was about to explain the rules of Dabo, and then they stopped him, and I'm like, damn it! I want to know how to play Dabo. By the way, if you are going to make like a real man cave, putting a Dabo wheel in your man cave is actually like pretty good. You got to have.
I'm pretty sure it's basically roulette.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before. Like,
we got to assume that. Now the real question is, are we going to do? Are we going to have?
Well, actually, technically, I believe. Again, this is from somebody who watched a ridiculous amount of Star Trek. So, like, I believe. My theory about how Dabo works. I will explain how I think Dabo works. I believe Dabo is some sort of combination of craps and roulette. So what happens is like the more times you spin the wheel, it's like you're there. It's not like there's a point or whatever like you have in craps, but it's more like that your odds of getting Dabo of like the wheel landing on something that makes you get Dabo, that increases the more times you spin without losing. So you're spinning and like people spin several times without losing. So the more times you spin without losing, the more your chance of winning increases. so that like if it's your like 7th spin, your chance of getting Dabo is much higher than on your first spin. So that's why you see people winning when they win a lot of money. It's when they like are spinning Dabo on like their first or second spin since the last time they said Dabo. But when you see people spinning like several times in a row and nothing is happening, then they're either like if they lose, they can still lose, but if they win, it's not as big of a deal. Usually when you see people like celebrating winning Dabo a lot more, it's when they've won very, very recently. So that's the way I imagine the odds work for Dabo.
All right. And next time you'll explain how to play Tango.
I can explain how to play Tango.
No, not now. We'll save it. We'll save it. Save it for another episode.
Way more complicated.
Yes, I know. I'd love it.
More complicated.
So since we're basically making this an entire Quark episode, we're gonna skip to the end when Quark and Odo are the only ones who could save the station, and Quark does that great line where he's like, I will beam you over to the area, and Odo is very nervous about this. And Quark's like, I worked on a Ferengi freighter for 8 years. I've seen it done 100 times. And then he does energizing. I love the way he says energizing.
It's so good.
Like the entire station's about to explode, and Quark's just having a great time.
I'm gonna go out with a bang.
Yes. About my hazard pay.
Hazard pay was great.
The hazard pay line is amazing.
What we didn't discuss is the most important thing is Kira. Like she kidnapped somebody and like
Kira
basically
was great.
like
yeah.
But she literally kidnapped somebody
classic,
and then
classic Kira episode where you just like, this is how insane Kira is.
Kira's an insane
crazy.
person. Yes.
Yeah.
She gives him a virus.
A lot more in the very beginning of the show. Like she tones down a little bit in the middle. Of,
because she like gets used to like Starfleet regulations.
Right, but it's very apparent that like, hey, like she was a terrorist like 72 hours ago. So like,
don't you mean 78 hours ago?
No, it's less than 3 days.
Okay.
She's been a terrorist for less. She's just like, oh, we got to save these people. You know what I got to do is just kidnap some dude from a university or something and like, just randomly subject him to a virus. The other thing is she, for a fact, she does or may not know.
She does not know.
Keep in mind, no, she doesn't. Not only does she not know that the guy remember, it's not even like he has the cure and is lying about it. He has to go develop a cure.
Yes. She doesn't even know if the guy who she thinks made the virus actually made the virus. There's a lot of leaks.
A different guy who you used to know a long time ago made this virus. And I'm not even convinced.
All that guy did was sign his death certificate.
Right. And here's the thing. I'm not convinced that you are secretly holding on to the cure. I just as a person who knows nothing about science, believe that you can develop a cure. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but my guess is hopefully it'll take less time than this virus will take to kill you. You're nuts. Terrible plan.
I know.
It's a terrible plan.
She just gets away with it, and then she's back on the
I know, and then she's just all right, back to duty. Classic Kira.
This should definitely be one of those episodes though, where those episodes where they end with the person who did something way out of line getting dressed down by the captain. This should definitely be one of those episodes where so Kira, you stole a shuttle, kidnapped a guy, subjected him to a lethal virus, because, I don't know, you thought he could maybe create a cure in hopefully enough time. So, can you explain yourself? And she's like,
no,
do what you got to do, win some, lose some, big man.
She's also drinking a Ractigino, and she's like, I know, right? Crazy. She's it's oh, are we still talking about this?
No accountability, none. What?
I know, it's amazing. The Bajoran provisional government calls Cisco and be like, "Are you aware what Kira did?" And Cisco's like, Yeah, what do you want me to do with this woman? You gave her to me.
That's just Kira being Kira.
Kira's being Kira.
I think is that like Kira's like his first officer, but like he's not like really in charge of her because she's not in Starfleet, and then like she's actually like got like a pretty decently high rank, it would seem, in the provisional government. So like it's really like totally not clear who her bosses are. Like at one point they talk about how like she can be like recalled to Bajor, but that's like a decision that like a whole council has to approve of or something because she's like pretty like highly ranked. So it's like
it's really amazing.
Who's even like so? Does Kira just like walk around doing like whatever the hell she wants? Basically, I think she does.
Pretty much. I mean, there are like multiple times where Kira's like sent on a mission to do something. Like, oh, you have to like remove this old man from his colony, and then like she's like, I live with him now. And it's like, what are you doing, Kira? Kira's amazing.
We're only X number of episodes away from Kira literally joining a resistance cell and hiding in the mountains for a couple days.
I know. She does that. She does that fairly frequently.
Totally does whatever she wants.
I know. She's like, Kira's like, you know, I can't really condone what you're doing, but let me teach you how to become a terrorist.
Yeah.
Andy, what was that?
I was gonna say, we also find out that basically the cure to any of these diseases is black coffee. Between Sisko and Janeway, just drinking like straight up black coffee all the time.
I know.
You're just so wired.
That's how captains operate. You know, like not everyone can operate on Earl Grey tea.
Yeah, no question. And that classic '90s like at the end where it's like, O'Brien. And they all look at each other like, oh, you got me.
No! Replicators still don't work.
So good.
I love that ending. That ending is so cheesy. It's such a cheesy 90s ending.
Ax is like with the face, you know, like.
Oh, you rascal, O'Brien.
I love it.
Haven't fixed the replicators yet. I know. I know. I guess Sisko hasn't switched over to Raktajinu yet. He's still drinking coffee.
Yeah. What we really don't discuss also is that this farmer, right? His ship is broken. Fine.
Let's talk about this guy. I need to talk about this guy. Okay.
If you're gonna implement things like he can't leave and like his ship is stuck and his stuff gets damaged, there's no reimbursement from like Starfleet. Like they just can't be like, here's some more food, like, or credits or whatever.
He probably would have to apply for a PPP loan.
Yeah.
How is that not like a thing? Like, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. Like, we'd rather the virus not get out. We'll give you some money.
We'll I mean, it became like first about his cargo, and then he's like, I just want to get out of here because I'm too scared about this virus.
Right.
But I understand like he thinks he's doing a good thing, but he's literally trying to pull away with the docking clamps on. Yeah. It's like, dude, you know this is not going to work out well for you.
You're assuming he's just gone like insane, like he's just literally lost it.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to get to is the guy who created the virus, right? So we don't like meet him because he's dead or whatever.
Yeah. Why didn't we make it immune to Bajorans? Like it was going to be on a Cardassian station.
I have so many questions. Like, so this guy creates this virus. Instead of just like creating a virus that will because keep in mind, this virus is going to kill you, but for some reason before it kills you, it's going to stop you from talking or communicating. First of all, why?
Okay,
for entertainment purposes in an episode of Star Trek.
Well, here's the thing.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if he knows that it's going to kill you.
Yeah,
I think he
definitely does. The purpose is it's going to kill you. He wants the point is that he wants to kill people.
So why does it give them aphasia first?
Yeah, and it's that seems like a tremendous accomplishment to break down the way the brain processes information. So that seems like a bigger deal than creating this virus in the first place.
Yeah.
So the secondary part of the virus seems like a bigger accomplishment than the virus itself. But then somehow you were smart enough to create this crazy complicated virus. but you couldn't figure out how to like put it in a machine that like would go off like in a week. Instead, like it's just like sitting there and it's going to go off at some time in the next decade. Like what?
18 years later, yeah. Like,
Like what the hell?
It's
like,
in the replicators.
Look at. They're like, oh, I have an idea. I'll create the most complicated virus you've ever seen, and it'll work perfectly, and it'll kill everybody. But who knows when it'll go off? Like, what? What is the purpose of that?
I mean, I guess he's a good scientist and not a very good terrorist. I mean, it's
you
like
have to assume they were at the point where they were just doing whatever they could to try to get a heads up, like a hand up. Like,
yeah, but it
didn't
like,
matter how many people died. It didn't matter. Like,
let's say I create this virus and like I hand it over to the resistance people, and I'm like, here, I created this virus. Here you go, resistance people, and they're like, cool, I'm going to put this in a machine so that it'll go off. Who the hell knows when? Like, no, put it in a machine so it'll go off next week. No, that's too easy. We're gonna put it in a machine and it'll go off. Like, I don't even know when. The next time somebody fixes a replicator, what?
It also could be that replicator was just never fixed, and the Cardassians are like, yeah, we never needed to fix that one. Like, and the Cardassians kind of suck. Like,
they just didn't care. Yeah.
Yeah, and O'Brien
also, if the virus like becomes airborne, like, why don't you just like these people are terrorists? Like somebody will just like put it in a vial and like walk onto the station and step on the vial.
So I don't think that.
Why are you sneaking into a replicator?
I don't think he knew it was going to become airborne. Like, it evolved to become airborne because too many people got it.
Yeah.
There's no way that that he thought it was going to become airborne. I still don't think he knew it was going to affect. It was going to kill people. I'm not buying that. I actually just think he wanted to do the aphasia thing. And like,
very possible.
because if you do that, if you do the aphasia thing, then you could maybe get it to like spread to all the Cardassians on the station and then spread to like other Cardassians and basically destroy the Cardassian Empire with an aphasia thing. Like what the
just no communication, like
what they try what the Enterprise tried to do with Hugh when they were trying to like input this like weird mathematical thing in his brain.
I mean, the whole story of Babel in the Torah is basically this concept that everybody's building this giant tower and then nobody can communicate and everything gets destroyed. It's the whole concept.
That's the whole concept.
The ship is gonna the station's gonna like. I don't think he thought people were gonna die, but it could also be like your brain couldn't handle it and it just started shutting down, like things like that. I don't think it was thought through. I thought the idea, they figured out with the aphasia, and they're just like, well, we hate the Cardassians, let's test it out on them. You know, the question is like, what faction was he part of also? Like, did he care about the Bajorans on the station? Probably not. He just wanted to like kill as many Cardassians as possible and like mess them up.
Yeah. But also, I don't, maybe they didn't know like that.
Wouldn't this have been better? Like if they knew it was airborne, wouldn't they do it on like a planet rather than like on a space station?
Well, did they know that Terek Nor was going to become like a mining station?
I mean,
like with Cardassian prisoners?
18 years ago? Like,
yes.
Prisoners? Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird virus, and it makes no sense. The entire thing makes no sense, which is why this... Yeah.
It's a weird episode, but it's a solid episode. I like the concept of the episode because every time we have a real question, they basically come up with a real answer. You know, oh, what is this? Oh, it's an aphasia. What does it do? It shuts you down. Like it really built up on the concept of what the virus is until they're like, I wish they had like found like the scientist who had a cure, and then like, oh, like I've been holding this for so long, 18 years,
like an explanation
about it. Yeah, like just a random doctor is stupid. They could have just had him like.
Well, it also comes back to my question, which is basically this is going to have to end the thing, but is on the ranking of Star Trek doctors, where does Bashir rank? Because he did pretty well. He has a lot of episodes where he does very well. I actually rate him higher than Crusher in terms of being a doctor.
I think we see a lot of Bashir specifically coming up with like cures for diseases, whereas like I think Crusher, I think like if I need somebody who's like gonna like do surgery, I think Crusher's like the one you go for.
You go for Pulaski.
It's kind of It's kind of interesting
Obviously,
that like
if you're looking for somebody, the choice is Crusher or Pulaski, and the question is anything. The answer is Pulaski, but
well, not haircut advice. I would
Right.
rather get
right.
How
Or
was
if you're looking for
Bashir-
something to understand something being wrong with the universe, Pulaski probably.
But how is Bashir the chief medical officer on this ship? There's nobody
well,
else.
he was the second in his class, and
I'm saying he's very
and he-
qualified. You still have a boss and have to work up to a rank. Like you just start off as like chief medical officer. On a
this is
spaceship, I guess?
he asked for this assignment.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
didn't send
Yeah,
a
but
replacement. It's the same reason why we have Chief O'Brien. You know?
I guess they're still dealing with what's left over.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
just
still
trying to make
dealing
it
with
work.
leftovers. I know. All right, but this is an okay episode. Yeah. Any last thoughts?
That's okay.
I think I went through my notes. Hold on.
I love you guys.
Love you too, buddy. All right. So next week we got by the way, brace yourselves. Something terrible happens to Miles O'Brien
Oh no.
in
What?
season 1, episode 6.
Wait, what is it?
Captive Pursuit.
Is it Tosk?
Task, baby.
Oh, Tosk. I love that episode.
I am Task. And Miles O'Brien gets involved. Yes, he is.
Oh.
Yes, he has a child.
Brian.
Yes, he has a wife. But he's getting involved with Task. I have a lot to say about
My
this
favorite
episode.
thing. My favorite thing about the entire episode is still Tosk saying O'Brien as if O is his first name and Brian is his last name. Oh, Brian.
Yes. I am
Love
Task.
that. It's great.
All right. But we are only 2 episodes away from a Q episode, the only Q episode in DS9. Brace yourselves, boys. That may have to be a 2-parter.
Well, fun fact.
You
Star
hit
Trek
me.
Timelines character.
What?
Star Trek Timelines character this week is teaching what's her name? Brian's wife.
Keiko?
Keiko?
They made her into a character. Teaching Keiko. That's a character this week.
Oh. Do you still play Timelines?
Yeah, you guys should join. I dabble.
Apparently there's a new Voyager game for like PC and Switch and PS5 and whatever.
Oh.
About that.
Yeah, I want to take a look at it. Let's see how much that is on my Steam. Maybe I'll play that. I don't know. I'll wait for my
You'll let us
Voyager
know.
rewatch. I'm almost done with TNG. Nice. I have like a season and a half left.
Oh wait, I know we said we were also going to do episodes about other things, and I insisted that we do episodes about season 50 of Survivor, which I believe starts. I believe it's next Wednesday.
I haven't seen any of the episodes. Are they come back? Have they been playing?
No, the ones they've been playing on CBS the last couple of weeks are famous episodes having to do with the people that are on season 50. So like they play the famous I know yesterday because I saw something about it on TikTok. They played the famous episode with Rick Devens in season 38 where he has the advantage menu and he plays it even though he like knows it's fake, because then he just gets like trash talk the 2 people who like tried to talk him into it, and then he pulls out a real idol and screws over everybody. And I'm like, God, I love Rick Devens so much.
All right, so we're gonna have to do a Survivor pod also.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if we can keep it to.
I haven't watched in 5 years. I haven't watched since season 40.
Yeah, so for you, I guess it'll be like a little bit new, and you just like have to deal with the new people who you like don't really know, but like you'll know most of the old people. Like, you know, I mean, there's people that I don't know, like the people that are from those seasons, like what I call like the kind of like quote unquote lost seasons, like the seasons between like 11 and 19. Those people, like I don't know who most of them are. But there aren't that many of those people. But look, I'm looking forward to Rick Devens. You know, I'm looking to Moshe. You and I used to love Aubrey Bracco. She's back for this season.
I do like Aubrey. She was good. Yeah.
Yeah. We used to like Aubrey when we had our old Survivor podcast.
Oh my
Aubrey
God.
was always, because she looks like she's out of shape, but then they put her in the water and she swims like a fish. And everyone would be like surprised.
I know. We definitely need a name for this podcast, though. If we're going to have multiple podcasts on the Ways Away Tour podcasting network, each one of them needs to have a name. And we can't just keep calling this the Deep Space Nine recap show.
Oh, is this because we're taking it's because it's like a deeper dive into the episodes? Is this like Deeper Space Nine?
Hello.
That was okay. I didn't love it. All right. Bye, Andy.
Bye, Andy.
That happens to you like 3 times an episode, by the way. Where you just like...
I think you said was hello and then disappeared. Like, okay.
All right. Good to see you.
Yeah. We could try to figure out a name for the Deep Space Nine podcast. But yeah, I know I would love to do a survival.
If anyone is actually watching this podcast, which based on our YouTube numbers, no one is.
No, that's not.
Put it in the comments what we should call this podcast.
Yeah. Help us out, please.
Yes. All right. Talk to you later, bud.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Deep Space Nine. Bye.